Hello, welcome to Lemon Studios, so we talk anything and everything entertainment. I'm, of course, the Lemon himself, Zeke Lamone, and this is my review for Monday Night Raw of December 23rd, 2024. But before we get in that, let's get the house cleaning out of the way, shall I? I'm to leave a like, comment below, let me know your thoughts on Monday Night Raw, and of course, hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, all that out of the way, let's get into the review, shall we? So, another taped episode. This was also the holiday episode. Happy holidays, everyone, for those who celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, all of those fun holidays. And this was pre-taped because, again, we're giving the talent the time off and they absolutely deserve it. Not going to continue to complain about it because there is a difference and a lack of quality when it comes to the episode. It really is about like, look, we don't want anything big to get spoiled out, so we're kind of going to do a paint by numbers. Now, I do think this episode of Raw was significantly better than the episode of SmackDown that was on Friday. But you could just tell, hey, on the second sets, and especially with the crowd as well, is that once we do get into hour 3 and hour 4, they're tired. they're very tired, and they know, okay, well, this is not going to be shown for another whole week. So yeah, I can kind of just like take things in and I can watch it back later. It's just one of those things, you know. But look, again, the talent has some rest, and it's absolutely fine. But how was the episode overall? I liked a lot of things that we did with it. I liked the interview that we had with Seth Rollins, talking about CM Punk, where it's just like, wow, man, this man really hates him. Like, I really do believe that Seth Rollins hates CM Punk, and it might be true. I know he wasn't the hugest fan of him before he came back, and I know that, you know, he wasn't a huge fan of him actually being back, but he's willing to do business, and they're willing to put things to the side, and they're willing to be professional and do what's best for the overall product. And this match is one of those things. And I have heard that, you know, backstage that, you know, they're cordial, they're fine, and, you know, they get along and they talk about things that they're going to do. So I don't know if he still has the same amount of hate as he would have a year ago, but there's still something there, and it just really feels like, you know, they're just getting dished out, and, you know, they'll get dished out on January 6th. And I'm really looking forward to it. I liked all the things that were said with it, how, you know, it's just like, look, you know, I hated this man, but, you know, after seeing him being so lovey-dovey with Roman Reigns, that was just the final straw. This isn't going to be a match. This is going to be a fight. And it was announced that this is the main event. Or at least I'm pretty sure this is the main event. It should be the main event. I don't think Tribal Combat needs to be the main event. You can kick off with that, you know? Obviously, Triple H is going to open up the January 6th show to welcome in a new era, as he likes to say. And then, you know, we're like, oh, now we're going to kick off with Tribal Combat. And then here they come, and we're off for the races. I just still don't think this match is going to end clean. I do think we may have some DQ. We may have a count out, double count out, I should specify, or Drew's going to get involved. Someone else is going to get involved. And I just don't think there's going to be a clear winner. So I'm just trying to limit my expectations for that. For it's such a big match to be on Monday Night Raw. I get it. It's one of the big milestone shows. It's going to be pretty huge on everything that they're going to do. But they also want reasons for people to tune in the following week. If you blow it off, and, you know, there is a clear winner, it's like, oh, well, now they move on to the next. If this is your main event, your big story that you're leading with, you're going to want to continue it on and sprinkle it through all the way through January. So I just don't see, both narratively and financially, to keep the people going, why have this finish clean? So that's why I'm just like trying to tamper it to be like, look, it's not going to be as good as I think it's going to be. And especially with them being a fight, I could see a double DQ. Someone's going to get carried away, hit with a chair. And if, you know, that's the main event, that's how we go off Raw, then that's how we go off Raw. But really like the segment that we did with here too. I love what we did with the New Day, everything through. Like, even when, you know, you really gotta ask yourself, you gotta go to church or something. When you mess up so bad that even Dominic Mysterio has to go, look, I don't like Big E either, but what y'all did was absolutely crazy. Like, that's something where you have to go to church and you gotta talk to Jesus about, and just really reevaluate your whole life. That the biggest heel, that the person who gets booed the loudest, who's willing to do all these dastardly things, even goes, yeah, no, y'all took it too far. Like, that is saying something right there. And then also, when they're coming out there and they're running down Joe Tessitore, they're running down Wade Barrett, just giving them absolute crap. Like, coming up, and I love the line with Kofi's going, gave my mom a middle seat in Ghana to come over here. Like, damn, man, you can't even get your mom an aisle or a window. You had to give her the middle seat in Coach. Kofi, what's wrong with you? And, they go out and go, Mom, I'm sorry for how they're acting. Give me a hug. And then she leaves him as well. Just love everything that we're doing the New Day. No new music yet. I wonder if Triple H is going to give the New Day the Tommaso Ciampa treatment. You know what I mean? When he first came back and he's having that match with Johnny Gargano, his music was just the booze, as he's walking out. And, that's going to be what carries them all for a little bit. And I think you could get away with that for a solid 2 months or so before you give them new music. And then, again, go wherever they're going to go. I do think they should be the ones to take the titles off the War Raiders. It does seem like the War Raiders are still stuck within the Judgment Day Phantom Zone. I did like the segment that we had with the Judgment Day. And I'm going to be saying that a lot. I liked a lot of the segments. I liked a lot of the talking points that we did. The matches, again, were just paint by numbers. The Intercontinental title match. Again, I think I'm just run down on triple threats at this point. Io Sky gets the win. Lyra Valkyria versus Io Sky. Dakota Kai versus Zoe Stark. I think it's a case of whoever wins one match, who's going to win the other at this point, because I don't really see them doing Damage Control versus Damage Control this early. However, I'm going to stick with my original pick where it is Dakota Kai versus Lyra Valkyria in the finals. There is some intrigue with Io being the first one because, I just know there's going to be great matches. But Io has already won a singles title. She's won the main title. I would really like for the first women's Intercontinental title to be, this is their first title as well, just to really coordinate them, make the moment even bigger. And I do think it is, I think Dakota Kai and Lyra Valkyria is the best way to go. Because if Zoe moves on, I think it also spoils the ending of the finals. Because Chelsea Green won the first women's United States champion. And Triple H likes to do the flip-flop for the most part. When Roman Reigns was WWE champion, who was the World Heavyweight champion? Babyface Seth Rollins. When Gunther was the IC champion, well, I guess we had Logan Paul and Gunther being heels at the same time. But there was a time when it was Gunther as the IC champion, Rey Mysterio as the United States champion. And now, we had LA Knight as US champion. And then we had heel Braun Breaker as the Intercontinental champion. Yeah, Jey Uso had it for a little bit, but then he got rid of it. Same thing with Sammy was IC champion. Logan Paul was US champion, and then conveniently, we flipped it. So I think, that's just what he does. If there's a heel as the mid-card champion on one brand, then on the other brand is the face, and then so on and so forth. So I do think if you keep it both babyface, you have that sense of jeopardy. And Dakota Kai is very deserving, and Lyra Valkyria is very deserving, and they can have a lot of fun with it too. I did like how Sonya Deville tried to get involved within it, but look, we took Kairi Sane out, replace it with me, and trying to force her way in, but nobody gave it to Io Sky. Then that could be the first program right there if Dakota Kai is to win it. I still think it's Lyra Valkyria who's going to be coordinated as the first one, but even if it's Io, if it stays within Damage Control, there's your story. I was supposed to be in that tournament. You took my spot. Or your group keeps giving these opportunities. My group does not. I'm the leader, blah, blah, blah. There we go. There's your first program. Bob's your uncle. But, like I said, going back to the War Raiders, is that, they had that segment with Damian Priest. That was good. I liked that. And vouching the six-man tag that's happening on the next week on the final episode of Raw on the USA Network. I like the segment that we had with with the Judgment Day, where they're being children, and Liv's going, Raquel, can you tell Finn? And then Finn going, JD, can you tell Liv? And then Raquel and JD are trying to start, but then, they keep cutting each other off. It was very funny. I very much enjoyed that. Dom versus Damian for the 40th time at this point, where I know is going to end in a DQ. Did not care for it whatsoever. At all. And again, sure, Damian was really cool, being super smart, knowing the playbook. Oh, there's Santa. I know that's JD. Oh, I know Carlito's under the ring. Oh, there's Finn Balor. And then here's the War Raiders to come out. It's just wash, rinse, and repeat. Wash, rinse, and repeat. No Rhea Ripley on the show. I don't think there was any Gunther on this show either, so I don't really know what we're doing. Well, I know Rhea and Liv are facing each other for the title at the January 6th show. Maybe we'll do one more speed burst until we get to on the final Raw on the USA Network. And then Gunther, I just don't know. Maybe the transfer portal is still in effect. I wish we did more with that too, about who's actually being transferred over. Now I get it, we had a bunch of pre-tape shows and you don't want to spoil any of those. transfers on a pre-taped, and you want authentic reactions, not just at the arena, but online as well, because online is such a dominant thing. But yeah, overall, the matches were okay. I really don't have anything to really go home about. Even, The Miz versus Dexter Lumis, which was another DQ finish. And then Final Testament coming out. And I don't remember if this was on Raw or if this was on the YouTube or it was on Twitter or something like that, because sometimes they put segments online where Miz actually has to go, we had the plan, we were done, but you want to keep poking the bear. And then Ivar, I think, is it? No, that's War Raiders. But, one of the authors of Pain was like, you want me to go take care of Miz? Like, no, he's actually kind of right. I was like, oh, I like that. I like how Karen's like, you know what? Yeah, we may have messed up. And then when we get to the January 6th show, maybe we do elimination tag, throwback to old Survivor Series. And, we have an elimination tag team match where even, break the gender rule a little bit where, the men where the women can hit the men and vice versa, even though the men will not obviously hit the women. But yeah, it was just one of those types of Raws where it's like, yeah, the matches were okay. Segments were really good, had a lot of intrigue. But, it's very, very obvious at this point that we are just waiting for that January 6th show. Even Drew McIntyre versus Sammy, love the opening segment between them two. Felt very real. It almost felt like there wasn't a script. There wasn't like, okay, look, you got to talk about this, you got to talk about this, you got to talk about this. This just felt like two guys just dishing it out. One guy feels one way, the other guy feels another, and it just feels very real. Like, you can understand where both sides are coming from. Like, when Drew was talking, it's like, man, that's right, man. You got a point there. Man, I wonder who the one person was. My guess would be Sheamus. And, maybe that starts the catalyst of a feud between those two, and we can have that proper one-on-one match at WrestleMania, Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus, which I would like. But I also wouldn't mind it if it was The Rock. If The Rock is to come back into play, he's like, look, let's all do his thing. But, you want to attack the other bloodline, you go ahead. But I just want to call up and check up on you. And then the match itself, love how we're still continuing to add on the Sami Zayn has never beaten Drew McIntyre. Because this hasn't just been within this match. It's been in their previous matches before that. Sammy just can't seem to do it. And it just seems like it's going to be a long build until we do have that moment. And now it's not one of those things where, hey, we noticed this is the story. Okay, so this is it. We're building to you beating him. No, we're going to keep beating you. Okay, so yeah, you never beaten him? Well, it's not the time yet, but let's keep bringing it up so that when we do it, it doesn't feel like, well, obviously this is what we're doing. It does feel like, okay, I think this is the time that he's finally going to do it, but I'm not sure because they have been teasing it for quite some time. He does keep losing. So yeah, again, broken record at this point. Going to wrap it up here. Love the segments, love the talking points, love the things that we are introducing. It was just the matches themselves that kind of fell flat to me on this episode of Monday Night Raw. But I am looking forward to next week when we're back to live. And then we're looking forward to January 6th, where it does look like the plan will be in motion. Because it does feel like, all right, we're just finishing up the year. And now we could try again once it is January 6th. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about it down in the comment section. Leave a like if you made it this far within the video. I do greatly appreciate it. Hit that subscribe button, as it does help me grow into my YouTube career. Happy holidays and Merry Christmas. And happy Hanukkah too, for all the holidays that are happening during this time. And until next time, guys, I'll see you here at Lemon Studios.